Finding a gaming computer below $1,000 that doesn't suck and it's a pre-built system, it's actually really difficult. That's why I made the research and I will give you the best pre-built gaming PCs for under $1,000 in 2023. So if you have a budget from $575 all the way up to $900, this video is gonna be for you. And trust me, even if you don't know anything about computers, you will get a good system for the price. I will explain what these PCs are capable of running and the hardware inside them. You will have all the links to these systems down below in the video description, and if you have a budget of above $1,000, you have my website where you will have pre-built PCs for different budgets, but you also have my top 5 best pre-built PCs overall for 2023 in the top right of the screen. With that being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the HP Pavilion gaming desktop from Amazon. This one is $575. It comes with the Ryzen 5 5600G and the RX 5500. Now, this is not a flashy gaming desktop. If you're looking for really high FPS, high settings, 1080p, this is not the one for you. But if you want something functional, just plug and play, you will be able to run esports titles such as Valorant, CSGO, Fortnite. All of these titles you will be able to run at more than 100 FPS in competitive titles. So like I said before, if you're looking for just a functional gaming PC that is going to get the job done actually for 1080p, 60 plus FPS on average depending on the settings, I think that it's a pretty good deal. It comes with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD. If you have more money, then I do recommend you upgrading this part down the line, and if you don't worry about it for now. With the next one, we have another one from Amazon, and I've been searching on Newegg, Best Buy, but I couldn't find gaming PCs at this price point that are actually not terrible. And this one, I think that it's a pretty good deal, and let me explain why. For around $700, you're getting the Ryzen 5 5500 alongside the GTX 1660 Super. Not only that, but you also get 16 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD, and on top of that, you get a front mesh panel, so you get much better airflow than any of the other PCs that I will mention on this video. However, the ventilation of these systems is not really important since the hardware inside them is not super high end. This system is going to be able to run basically every single game 1080p, 60 plus FPS on average, even at high settings. If you want to play esports titles, this one is more than enough to play those games at above 144 FPS on average in competitive settings. So if you want to buy a 144Hz 1080p gaming monitor, feel free to do so with this system. I think this one is one of the best price to performance systems on this list, especially to get you started on the gaming world. With the next one, we have the Skytech Azure from the Skytech website. It comes with the i5 12400F, a really good CPU, alongside the RTX 2060, which is a bit better than the last one, the 1660 Super. You get the same 16 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD, but here you get a better CPU-GPU combo than the last one, and you're also buying a gaming desktop from their website, from Skytech, which is a trusted company. So if you have any issues, they have a great customer support, which is super valuable, and that's why $900 for this system makes sense. You also have some benchmarks on the website, so as you can see, at 1080p high settings, you will be able to run games like Warzone at 125 FPS or more. And remember, we are talking about high settings, but you can see all of the benchmarks on their website from the link that you will have in the description. Anyway, if you don't want to spend more than $700, of course, go with the last one, but if you can extend your budget to $900, go with this one or with the number one on this video, which is the Pictus 15L, but this time is from their website, not from Amazon. So just like this Skytech one, you have a better customer support in case anything happens to your previous system, and this one is on a discount. You end up saving $450, which is a huge discount. That's why I do recommend you getting it as soon as possible, and you get the Ryzen 7 5700G, 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB of hard drive, 500 gigs of SSD, and the most important part, you get the RX 6600 XT for the GPU. If you want a system to plug and play and you don't want to upgrade anything, because for example the other systems have 500 gigs of SSD or below, which might not be enough for you, but you also don't want to spend more money and install the storage by yourself, well, here you get enough storage so you don't have to install anything inside of the system, and you get a much better performance than the the other PCs because you get the RX 6600 XT. It's worth to mention that this GPU is of course not the best 1440p GPU, so I do recommend you using it for high FPS at 1080p, but if you feel like upgrading to 1440p for esports titles, this one is actually pretty capable of doing that. In my opinion, it's by far the best system under $1,000 on the market today, and the only thing that I don't like is that you don't have a really upgradable path, meaning that you can't change a bunch of things inside of the system. So for that reason, if you really want a PC that you can upgrade down the line, then I do recommend you going with the last one, the Skytech Azure. But if you want something to plug and play, have a great gaming experience without needing to change anything inside of the system for 1080p or even 1440p, this one is actually better than the Skytech Azure. So it really depends on what you're looking for and your needs, but my recommendation if you want the best performance is to go with the Victus 15L. Remember that it's on a discount, so when you're watching this video, maybe it's $1,350 and if you see it at that price point, I do not recommend you buying that system, but if you see it on a discount for $900, definitely it's a good deal. I've tested one of these PCs myself, so you can go ahead and watch my review about it in the top right of the screen, as well with the top 5 best Prebuilt PCs for 2023. And if you have any questions about these Prebuilt PCs or maybe a PC build that you want to buy, because I make a bunch of videos about PC builds as well, let me know in the comment section and I will try to reply as fast as possible. And if you got value out of this video, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content, which I do from 3 to 5 times a week. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.